Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Eric from On Point and Justice for Youth. And this week, I'm just going to share a quick video in regards to our safety curriculum. I love what's happening in our circles, man. I see such growth, especially after that maturity series. I showed the Juno video again to start my circle this week. And I just recapped cognitive maturity, emotional maturity, decision making. And I just applauded them because I had seen such growth in so many of my students in that area. Then I introduced safety by starting a little video by showing them social media, social experiment, right? And it's a little silly, it's a little funny, but it's reality. Youth are meeting people online. It's crazy. Sometimes people are sexting, they're sending inappropriate pictures. I mean, you name it, man. A lot of stuff's going on. It's very unsafe in the social media world. At some point, I allow them to do a journal. This week, I kind of went off topic because I sensed in my groups that they really needed to start focusing on the good in them. So this journal that I did this week has been to write nonstop for 6 to 8 minutes. I'm increasing journal time now. All the things that they love about themselves. All the things that they love about themselves. I've had great responses. I've had a few students that, of course, they're the more darker, downer, more depressed student that can maybe they come up with a blank page in 6 to 8 minutes, or they write one thing that they love about themselves. So at that point, when we share the entry, that's where I start affirming them. I'm blessing them. Hey, man, I notice you have a beautiful smile. You're mysterious. You don't talk much in the group, but that's kind of cool. I find things and ways to really help them learn to love themselves. Because in the next couple of weeks, we'll be talking about love. One of the sections is loving yourself. So I'm just kind of getting them ready for that. But you can use other journal entries. At this time, I'm going to show you the curriculum. I'm going to screen share with you, and you're going to be able to see that I entitled it "Love Your" or "Know Your Hood." So we like Charlotte at some of our schools has left some adult coloring pages that are age appropriate. Sometimes I have them start out with that. I did that at one school because they came in off of recess, and they were hyped. So I had them start with coloring rather than journaling. And then I also always hang their art and decorate our room. So feel free to do that so they feel like it's their space. I usually start the circle time with making a few open statements like, youth are so full of life with such ambition and exuberance, but you guys are also susceptible to life's dangers because you're naive sometimes and they don't have too much life experience. They are often they meet life without fear or inhibition, but they lack sometimes the wisdom that they need in order to make really safe choices. And then I'll say things like, man, there's a lot of things that can threaten to taint youth's ambition and exuberance, including these challenges, same old challenges: drugs, alcohol, teen pregnancies, abuse in all forms and facets, suicide, depression, cutting, unhealthy relationships, etc. But what we want to talk about today is the dangers that are in your hood, in your own backyard that are close to home. And we're going to focus on two areas: social media, and then we're also going to focus on things that are in your home. So just make sure, in your neighborhood. So just make sure that you guys are printing out those maps, those pages. I simply did a Google search and found a map and printed it out, passed it out. I also utilized here at Pass and Park West, they have a projection screen. So I just projected the image. I didn't have to print it out. And I utilized this video, like I shared before, as an opener, as a transitioner. And then at some point, we did this. I did this towards the end of my circle, where we actually had them circle where they live and then circle where they hang out in most. And then I talked about gang territories. I talked about certain high crime areas and what kinds of crimes they're known for. For example, Holt is famous for human trafficking and drugs, right? So the last thing is we had this discussion and we talked about, man, why are these places so alluring to you? What really draws you guys? And they talked about it, right? And then we talked about sharing of an incident where they felt threatened or they knew their safety was in jeopardy. And man, the stories I've heard and the conversations we've had. So the way I ended The talk was, hey man, how do you really want to be remembered? In what way do you want your story to be told? We got to start making some healthy life choices and start choosing to live safely and not putting ourselves in these predicaments where life could be short or life can change dramatically, or there could be some other additional trauma that could take place because they're at the wrong place in the wrong time, or they get mixed up into something that they could potentially become a hazard in their life and social life on social medias. I've seen fights happen because of a simple post or comment on a post. I've seen girls ousted and exposed sexually because they send images to boys who blast them all over social media. I've seen it all. It's not a good thing. So we really want to encourage them to be safe this week. Find space and time to ask them how they're doing, highs and lows. Love on them. They need hugs. They need handshakes. They need encouragement. They need to know that you see them, that you hear them, and that you believe in them. Try ending your circles by standing at the door, and as your students exit, hug every single one of them. Tell them that you see them, that you believe in them, and that you love them. We'll talk to you guys soon.